Baltimore Ravens when the Pittsburgh loses a four in a row to their heated rivals. Despite injuries and making the game close yet again, the Ravens win and pull out a 16-14 nail-biting victory over their rivals, snapping a four-game losing streak to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know we're here to talk about it. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. God's favorite host. Got Big Raj with me. Make sure you guys go ahead and stick that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. A Ravens post-game show coming to you live right after this.
You're on mute.
Hey, they muted me, but I'm here. Official post-game show here on the Flex Zone Podcast channel. Only place giving you sports how you want to, Raj, when you what?
When you need it.
Putting up the poll actually in the chat, so make sure you guys vote on that right now. You guys know the drill. Post-game show, we do this every week. Let's get straight to it. First of all, Big Raj, how you feeling? Let the people know how to keep up with us.
Hey, man, if you're new to the chat or if you're new to this podcast or if you're new to this channel, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We do Ravens post-game shows every Sunday or whenever they play. We also do pre-game shows, and we do a lot of wrestling content. And we have a great show on Monday nights at 10. So always check us out. Hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Appreciate that, Raj. Raj makes this social media engine go. And episode 371, tomorrow live. Hit that bell, Justin. We will get into that and much, much more. Raj, Ravens got a win. A win is a win is a win. 16-14. I thought somehow they would pull out this win. But once I saw Tyler Huntley go down, I thought they could possibly lose this game. They bring in undrafted rookie Anthony Brown. Trubisky throws 3 interceptions in the red zone. Pickett gets hurt. I was thinking if Pickett played and they were in the red zone like that, they probably score field goals and they win this game. But just your overall thoughts for the game. Ravens get the win overall.
My overall thoughts is this, man. Close game as usual. It was very tough. The Ravens make it very tough for themselves. But they was able to take care of a lot of advantages that they were given by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mitchell Trubisky had, 3 interceptions today. I mean, and they were all, 2 of them were in the red zone. And those were points for them, and they gave it up. So always a good thing. Welcome back, Marcus Williams. He had an interception as well. J.K. Dobbins is back to his old self. It looks like he had 120 yards on the ground in a tutty. Gus Edwards looked good this week, because the past couple weeks he's been struggling. Ronnie Stanley had a good game today. The offensive line played very well. Yeah, man, it was your typical Ravens and Steelers game where it was defensive based, not that many yards thrown for both teams. Yeah, man, and it came down to, like it always does, a play here or a play there. So, good game by the Ravens. The Steelers could have won this game easily as well. They were in the game the whole game. If Mitchell Trubisky doesn't turn the ball over 3 times, they might steal this game. So, yeah, man, it was a lot of intricacies that was put on this game.
Also, Justin Tucker becomes the Ravens' all-time leading scorer, surpassing Matt Stover. And gotta love Justin Tucker before we get into the other stuff. Gotta love Justin Tucker breaking that record that he's probably going to hold forever.
Yeah, he's going to hold that forever, man. I mean, Justin Tucker has been a saint since he got into the thing in 2012, taking over for Billy Cundiff. We already know what that situation is. If you don't know, then you need to look it up because I'm not going to explain that. But he took over for him. And he's been great ever since, making big time kicks down the stretch, and always finding ways to help this Ravens team win when they need some 3 points or whatever. So congrats to him. He's having a Hall of Fame run with the Ravens, and I hope he continues to keep kicking with us for as long as he can able to kick.
Look, we talked him up. We was talking about him yesterday. The great Rashawn in the building. Did you go to the game, Rashawn? How you feeling? I saw your Cowboys won as well.
Rashawn, we need you on the show, man. So whenever you're available to be on the show, we need you on there because I'm pretty sure you got a lot of stories to tell, and we would like to get your perspective on your Cowboys and these Ravens.
Yes, especially you going to all these games, as Rod said. Your favorite stadiums, your least favorite stadiums, your favorite fan bases to go at it with, your least favorite. Just some experiences from the road, Rashawn. I know you got it all. Appreciate you. Both his teams won today, so I know he's feeling good. What's going on, Malik? Justin as well. All right, Raj, let's get into it. I put a poll up. Make sure you guys vote on the poll. Ravens get the win, but Tyler Huntley exits. Looks like he's in concussion protocol, bringing Anthony Brown. They're saying, I think the report came out last night, LeBaron's going to probably miss at least the next 2 games. So that would put him out this coming Saturday against Cleveland. So it's a short week. Huntley's in protocol. What do you do at quarterback? Are you concerned? And Brian Waters in the building. Shout out to B. Waters. Hill Waters is in the building. The best
Hey,
hill in all the business.
hey, man, he was doing this thing out there in that wrestling ring. Shout out to you, Brian Waters, man. You doing your thing, bro. I got lots of love for you, my good brother. But Tyler Huntley in the concussion protocol, man. That's tough, man. That is tough for real. He played okay today. I mean, he didn't play the greatest of games, but he was very tough. He was very tough. Ran the football when he needed to run, made the passes he needed to make, didn't turn the ball over, which was good, except for that 4th and 1. But they should have kicked the field goal there, but that wasn't his call. So I'm not mad at that. But it sucks though, man. We kind of need this guy for next week. I mean, if he can't go next week, then it's Anthony Brown, of course, again. And I think Brett Hundley will be his backup. We definitely need Lamar Jackson back in the worst way because this offense, man, it is struggling for real. Duvernay was a no-show at all today. Robinson had about 5 catches for 52 yards, which was inadequate. I mean, even Andrews looked suspect. He only had 2 catches for 14 yards, and it's just like that's not going to get the job done, man. So, I mean, I can't wait till Lamar comes back. I'm gonna keep stressing this every week. They need to figure out how to get this man his money and him some weapons, man, because it's like you see it. It's clear as day that this guy needs help. He needs help wide receiving wise. Now, running back wise, with JK and Gus healthy, it makes a hell of a difference. If JK didn't play today and it was just Gus, we probably lose this game big time. But we need some weapons, man. We need some weapons for real for Lamar. So please, if the Costa, the owner Steve Bisciotti, Mr. Bisciotti, please listen to the fan base, man. Go out there and get this man some help, and give him the money that he wants, or at least close to it. Give him as close to it as he wants, because it shows every week, especially to these below 500 teams, man. He needs help, big time.
Yeah, Waters, make sure you get him. Let's set that up. Let's get him on the show. I saw you in the chat talking about let's get him on the show. We would love to have him on the show, the future of wrestling. Waters thinks they want to pay him. Let's go over the stats real quick before I get into it. Tyler Huntley, 8 for 12, 88 yards, 7.3. Was only sacked once, 88 rating. Anthony Brown, 3 for 5, 16 yards. And what was that? 16 yards, 3.2.
That's on your end, Byron. It's on your end.
Hold on, let me get that for you.
Oh, I hope so, Waters. I hope so.
Yeah, we had Brown 3 for 5, 16 yards, 3.2. He was sacked once. J.K. Dobbins 15 for 120. He had a touchdown, 44-yard long. He looked like the J.K. Dobbins of old. Kind of makes me wonder why they didn't have him wait until this time of year to come back and rush him instead of rushing him back at the start of the season. Gus Edwards 13 for 66. Tyler Huntley 9 for 31. Ricard 1 for 2. Drake 1 for 1. And receiving wise, Demarcus Robinson 5 for 52. Deshaun Jackson had 2 for 34. Andrews only 2 for 17. What's going on, Big Reg? Your thoughts on the offense, Raj? Looks like they're going to have to win with defense, running the football, and special teams. I mean, like you said, man, you only scored 16 points. That ain't going to get it done in the NFL.
concerned, man. I'm extremely concerned. The defense played an okay game. You know what? I was watching Engraven's live stream today because D wasn't with me, so I was watching the watching his live stream while watching the Ravens game, and he said something that was so prominent, man. He said that the Ravens defense, when there's no stress and no pressure on them, they play extremely well, man. But when it comes to the clutch moments, the 2 minute drive and trying to stop somebody, they come up short almost every single time. And today was another one of those situations. Marlon Humphreys was giving up all kinds of yards. George Pickens looked like a number one pick in an NFL draft today, as he got burned in that last drive by him. And I mean, Mr. Johnson had a couple good catches as well. So it's just like this defense, man, it's not getting the job done, man. Now, granted, they had 3 interceptions today, and they played well during most of the game. But at the end of the game, they're still giving up big plays, man. We had a 9 point lead, and it reminded me of the Jacksonville game again. I'm like, bro, if this was a 7 point lead, it would have been or an 8 point lead, they might have tied the game up. But the defense continues to keep struggling, and in the fourth quarter, they continue to keep giving up touchdowns to the other team. And if it wasn't for Gus Edwards getting that first down, bro, we could be talking about an L right now, and all of Baltimore would have been going crazy. So luckily, the offense bailed them out. Luckily, they didn't get the ball back, and so that Mitchell Trubisky could drive down the field and give him a field goal. But yeah, man, they got to figure that out, man. It's too much money on that side of the ball to be giving up plays like that, especially when you have a 9 point lead. You cannot give it up like that. Roquan Smith, though, he played very well. Patrick Queen, he had an interception. He missed a sack, but Roquan cleaned it up for him, and he played okay. Broderick Washington had a couple big plays as well, and of course Calais Campbell with that blocked field goal attempt on the Steelers kicker made all the difference in the world. So yeah, they play good in spurts, man. But when it comes to clutch time, they still got to clean that up. I mean, it's just no way in hell you have double-digit leads and you be losing like that or giving it up. You can't do that. It's just a no-no.
Yeah, they're one of the top three teams in sacks, I believe, but they don't get, and kind of to Engraven's points, they don't get timely sacks when you need them in 2 minute drives or pressures in crucial moments. They kind of, I guess, like Big Reg is saying, I don't know if it's the play calling or what, but they're kind of lackadaisical. They drop back in these zones and teams just pick them apart down the field, dink and dunk, take advantage of the openings. And like you said, Marlon Humphrey giving up big plays. Marcus Peters, we had up the burnt toast avatars a couple weeks ago. Thankfully, Marcus Williams is back because that will help a whole lot. Kyle Hamilton is starting to look like Kyle Hamilton. He looked pretty good today outside of the touchdown he gave up, but he's looking pretty good. And Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, they might have to pick up Patrick Queen's 5th-year option because him and Roquan together are a dynamic duo because Roquan allows Patrick Queen to run freely damn near every play.
And he looks a lot better. He looks a whole lot better as a middle linebacker because of Roquan Smith. He doesn't have to guard the big tight ends. He doesn't have to run with them. He can pretty much just roam the field and see what he can actually do. So that's always a good thing. Wait a minute. Anthony Brown is good enough to cover for Huntley, but we don't have a shot in the playoffs. I mean, we'll see next week because it looks like he'll be starting. But I don't know, man. We need Lamar back. We need him back badly. And I hate to, I'm glad this situation kind of happened this way because it just shows you how badly he is missed when Huntley or Anthony Brown or whoever is quarterback in this team. But yeah, man, Patrick Queen got to get his paper, bro, or at least get the 5th-year option so we can keep him for one more year and maybe trade him after that. But we shall see. We shall see what they do with Patrick Queen.
As you mentioned, Calais Campbell getting that blocked field goal kind of was a difference in the game. His 9th blocked field goal of his career. Trubisky was 22 of 30, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Kenny Pickett went out early. Najee Harris, they shut him down, 12 for 33. Kenny Pickett 2 for 16. And receiving Deontay Johnson, 6 for 82. George Pickens, 3 for 78. and Pat Fryermuth 3 for 33. Steven Sims had 4 for 30. But I wanna talk about this defense. They are not letting teams run on them. I know they give up some big plays in the past game and don't sometimes get pressure consistently, but their run defense, they can make teams one dimensional.
Let me answer Waters' question real quick about Derek Wolf.
Pull it up.
Pull it up real quick. He asked, what do y'all think about Derek Wolf's comments? Well, I heard them on Friday, and it doesn't surprise me, Brian. It really doesn't. We've been hearing things like this since Harbaugh took over, especially in the old days, man, when he used to put people in the doghouse. And of course, everybody's favorite Raven, Bernard Pollard, is screaming up and down of how much he hates Harbaugh and how he did him wrong back in the day. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But Derek Wolf was a good Raven. At least he said good things about, the GM and the owner. But of course, Harbaugh had to get, he had to give that that treatment. But yeah, it just doesn't surprise me. Now, as far as the defense, they don't give up the run very much because they cover that very well. Najee Harris actually did play pretty well, although he only had 33 yards. He tried, but they shut down the run. They do that very well. It's just the wide receivers, man. When it's that vertical, they give up them big plays. They give up them big plays. They still have not figured that out. They still haven't figured that out just yet. So, like I said before, until they are able to shut down the 2-minute drive in the fourth quarter, and when the game is on the line, when it's clutch time, they're gonna continue to keep having games like this. I mean, the offense is not great, of course. Greg Roman is not a great coordinator, but he will put you in a position to win the game, which he's done most of this year. So the defense got to close it out, and Mike McDonald has to call the correct plays, down the stretch, because he's been struggling as a coordinator in them times of the game. So yeah, man, the defense, the run game, they shut it down. They do what they're supposed to do, but like I said, when them fourth quarters come and that 2-minute drive comes, it's not a good look. It really isn't. It's not a good look.
We agree, Luke. We said the same thing. They gave up a lot of big plays today. Humphreys gave up some plays. I think Big Red said he thought Hamilton missed some tackles. Probably did.
Yeah.
And I wanted to look at the defense because Humphrey had 6 tackles. Kyle Hamilton had 6. Roquan had 6 with a sack. And Owe only 2 tackles. Bowser had the other sack. So, but outside of that, Raj, and I was worried about this, and I want to bring this up to everybody in the chat. If you guys can hit the like button, Justin Houston, remember he was on fire for like the first probably 8-9 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That stretch with Tampa and New Orleans, he was getting 2 and 3 sacks a game.
Yep.
He's an older guy. I was afraid he was peaking too early and he would maybe burn himself out and thankfully not get hurt, but possibly not get the pressure he's getting. He doesn't even really show up on a stat sheet. No tackles. Nope. Didn't show up on a stat sheet at all. No David Ajabo. No Charlie Kohler. They're going to have to put these guys in to see what they can do rushing the passer. Bowser's still working his way back, even though he had a sack. You may not see him for a couple plays. So I was afraid that the pass rush would do this to us when we need it most.
Bro, when I saw that injury report today, that I was like, you got to be kidding me. David Ajabo and Charlie Kohler are still not on this team right now. And David Ajabo been practicing for the last 2 months, if I'm not mistaken, since October 15th. But I don't understand what's going on. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're not able to suit up during game day, or why they're not putting them on a snap count, or just to see what they have. It's ridiculous to me. It's just like, come on now. What do y'all got? What are you doing? Do you not want your second overall pick out there to help and pass rush? Now, like you said before, Justin Houston. Yeah, I think he did peak too soon, and it looks like it. I mean, it looks like they figured out how to stop him, and he looks his age. I should say that he looks about 33, 34 years old, and that's not really a good thing for the Ravens because they need this brother down the stretch to be, get a second win, because Oweh's not getting the job done. Owe has been struggling this whole entire season. Only 2 sacks, and one of them last week. I mean, the guy just jumped in front of him and he got the sack. So it's just like he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's a first-round pick, and he's just not getting to the quarterback at all, and the snap count is going down. So that means Houston is out there a lot more, and Jason Pierre-Paul is out there a lot more, and he's an older guy as well. So I don't understand why they're not using David Ajabo. Charlie Kolar is a 6'6" tight end who can be used in the red zone, and they don't figure out how to get him out there. I don't understand. Their wide receiver core, like I said before, is struggling. Devin Duvernay gives them absolutely nothing. He gave them nothing today. And Robinson is okay. And, of course, our 36-year-old wide receiver, Deshaun Jackson, is okay. But it's just like, come on. We need to see what these guys got. And right now is an opportunity to give them opportunities. Because if you want to go far, if y'all make the playoffs and y'all want to go a little bit farther than the wild card or the divisional round, you're going to need everybody hands on deck. So for them not to be playing yet again is just frustrating. It is. It's frustrating.
Malik, I do think Lamar could return Christmas Eve, but if he has a sprained PCL, I'm not rushing him back. And
Nah.
Cleveland, Atlanta are the next two games. Maybe if they can at least win one of those next two, that will put them at 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to be careful with Lamar too. I know they want to bring him back, but they got to be careful with bringing him back. Bring him along slowly. Maybe wait an extra week if you need to.
Hey, man, I look at it this way. You cannot play Lamar next week. You cannot do it. You cannot risk it. Even if they lose, you cannot put them out there because they'll still have a chance to win a division. If they lose next week, they beat Atlanta, they beat the Steelers here, and then they can fight for it. And with the Bengals, and whoever wins that game, they can take over for the first place of the AFC North. You cannot risk it with Lamar Jackson. This is his contract year. You want him as healthy as possible, and you want to have a chance to actually do something. I know this offense is struggling. I know our wide receivers are not getting open like they're supposed to, but Lamar Jackson gives us the best opportunity to get the job done, get the wins, because that's exactly what he does. He's a gamer. He's a baller. We all know this. So you got to have him healthy. You cannot risk it at all.
Do you think that now having a healthy JK, and I know Red said in the chat JK was limping a little bit or he didn't seem to have that burst, but I'm still taking JK over these other running backs. JK, Gus, that 1-2 punch, that two-headed monster. Hopefully Lamar coming back by the end of the year. This running game, as I mentioned, running game, defense, and special teams going to have to carry this team. I think G-Ro knew that today because he did run the football effectively. He had JK with 15 carries, Gus Edwards with 13. So 28 carries between those two. That's going to be the formula for this offense, even I think when Lamar comes back.
Yeah, man, this is the bread and butter. This is why we brought G-Ro in. This is exactly what he's supposed to do. This is exactly what he's all about. It's the run game. He's the run coordinator. He makes things turn. He's supposed to make things be great with whoever running back he has. But since he has two of the best ones on the Ravens healthy again, he should be doing exactly what they're doing. So if they continue to go down this path of running the football, they might have a chance to actually beat Cleveland next week. So, yeah, man, if G-Ro sticks to this game plan of running the football effectively, getting about 4 or 5 yards per carry, they have a chance, man. They have a great chance. But if he decides to start, getting pass happy, like he's done in the past, it's not gonna be a good look. It just isn't. So G-Ro's thing is the run game.
What do you think about the offensive line? Because I was getting to that and I saw Luke put it in the chat. Linderbaum had some great blocks on that JK big run. No Zeitler today, but Cologne held up. Stanley played pretty good. TJ Watt only had 1 sack. I thought he was going to go crazy.
I did too.
Offensive line. Morgan Moses played better.
The offensive line did very well. They played very, very well. I'm very happy that Cologne, stepped in for Ziegler because I got a little nervous when I saw him on the report this morning. I'm like, oh, he's not playing. But, Stanley did his thing. He came back strong as ever. And like you said, the rookie, man, Tyler Linderbaum, man, he's he's not perfect. He's not perfect. Let's not do that. He struggles every now and again too. But today he had a really good game. Today he was able to, help, his quarterbacks and, especially those running backs, man, get that hole open. So They did their thing, man. Shout out to the offensive line. They struggled last week against Denver. They made up for it today. They helped keep Tyler Huntley clean a little bit, although he ran into that. That's still a defender, but that's how the game goes sometimes. But they did their thing. They did their job.
Hey, Miss Queen, shout out to Miss Queen. I see you in the chat. Appreciate you tuning
One-
in. Make sure you guys, if you haven't hit that like button, hit that bell, vote on the poll. How do you feel about the Ravens situation? Ravens go to Cleveland next week. Before we get into that, how do you feel about this Anthony Brown possibly starting Raj? Going to have all week to take the reps. I mean, is there much difference between him and Tyler Huntley? They look pretty similar.
I mean, Anthony Brown in preseason looked okay to me. I mean, he looked good in preseason. Oh, of course, this is a preseason, but I mean, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. The good thing is Deshaun Watson is not playing his best football because he's just coming back from being out of the game 2 years, and he looks rusty as I don't know what. So, I mean, I'm not as concerned if Deshaun Watson was playing the whole year and he started playing great, then I'd be very concerned. But it's just going to be the case of the running backs next week. I mean, it's going to be Kareem Hunt and my boy Nick Chubb versus J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Who is going to be the better duo? And it's going to be a game of field position. So I wouldn't be as worried as I would be if if Lamar was in there and Myles Garrett and Jesus Christ, Jadeveon Clowney was coming for his head. But with Anthony Brown, I mean, it can go either way. And be honest with you, if we do lose, it is what it is. So I'm not too worried about it as long as Lamar Jackson comes back by Christmas Eve. If he comes back by Christmas Eve, we'll be fine. We'll be all right.
Well, let's give out game ball, not so game ball. Let us know your game ball, not so game ball in the chat. Stand out dud from this game or any other game. But Raj, I'm gonna get your game ball, not so game ball.
You already know who my game ball is going to. It got to go to J.K. Dobbins, man. Now I know he's not the healthiest. He looked like he was struggling running the football a little bit. He looked like he was slowing down somewhat. He's not as fast as he was 2 years ago, but when he has time and he's effective, man. He's very effective, and he's healthy, which is a good thing. So it's only going to get better from here. He just got his feet wet for real today, and hopefully he gets faster again. But 120 yards, 15 carries, a tutty. He did his thing, man. He helped this Baltimore Ravens team win this game. He kept him in the game, getting those first downs. Him and Gus, but it got to go to J.K. A good comeback game for him. And my not so game ball, got to go to Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, he hurt his team. He hurt his team today for real. I mean, all those chances they had to get field goals, and he kept turning the ball over and over and over, doing silly things. Throw the ball away, man. What are you doing? Stop being goofy. You're the backup for a reason. I understand this, but even Kenny Pickett wouldn't have thrown 3 interceptions. I don't think he would have. But it's Mitchell Trubisky. He's trying his hand right now, and he wants that starting job back, and he's not getting it back no time soon after this performance. So my game ball goes to J.K. My not so game ball goes to Mitchell Trubisky. He has to do a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Kenny Pickett scares me because he is still a rookie, but not only can he's getting better as a passer, but he has athleticism. He was hurting us a little bit early on
Yeah, he
with his
was
legs. Yeah.
very scary.
Yes, but I want to give a shout out to the offensive line of the Ravens and the middle linebackers of the Ravens as well. They get my game balls. Offensive line held up well, only 2 sacks. TJ Watt one, opening up the running lanes, really dominated the line of scrimmage. And Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, I mean, they look like the best two middle linebackers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens have something there with their front seven. Hopefully the pass rush can get better. My not so game ball definitely will go to just the receivers. Uh, no doubt.
You might be right, but you're right, Brian. He did throw it to the right team. You're right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. Roquan Smith. Yes. Yeah, Marlon definitely gave up some big plays. We was talking about that. Also, got to give a shout out to Justin Tucker again. Becomes the all-time leading scorer in Ravens history. I think only one field goal away from breaking the most field goals as well. So congrats to him as well, Justin Tucker, man. Like you said, the fourth down, that was goofy. They should have just kicked the field goal.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, man? I got another complaint real quick. Those referees today, man. What was that, man? I mean, the Marcus Williams pick. I mean, they gave it to us at the 1 yard line. I'm like, it was he ran into the end zone. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then the pass interference with Marlon, and he didn't even touch him, or the what was it, the when they sacked we didn't
The
sack
roughing the passer.
the roughing the passer with it's like, bro, what are you guys doing? What are you guys looking at? I understand we're in Pittsburgh, but damn, you're making it obvious right now. But either way, we overcame the referees. But they got to do better, man. They got to do better. I thought Jerome and them was out there. That's how bad it was. I thought Jerome Boger and them was out there, that crew, but trash.
Yeah, some of those calls were a little goofy. I don't know. Just yeah, the Ravens don't always have the best luck with
No,
referees and
no.
getting certain calls. Let's look ahead to Week 15. Crazy to think it's going into Week 15 as the Ravens travel to Cleveland to play the Browns for the second time Saturday afternoon, 4:30. It's a triple header that day, so we'll be live sometime Saturday evening with the post game show. Just a programming note, but people in the chat saying that Anthony Brown, as we get into the game, is more of a pocket guy and can throw the deep ball. You think with this week of preparation, I was worried when they had the ball at the one after that terrible Marcus Williams call and they threw the ball on first down. I said,
Shades of the Jacksonville game, right?
yes. Yeah. What you think about this game, man? It's on a Saturday. I know you don't like the Saturday games,
I
but
hate
they
Saturday
got
game.
this Saturday, then they got Christmas Eve against Atlanta. I say if they can go at least 1-1, get to 10 wins before Lamar gets back. Hopefully, if he doesn't come back before, on Christmas Eve or after, get to at least 10 wins. That would be great.
Let me just say this. I'm optimistic. I'm not going to say we're going to lose next week. I'm not going to say we're going to flat out win. I'm optimistic. I think for a week of a prepared look, Anthony Brown can throw the deep ball. We know this. He's very good at that. But I don't know, man. It just depends. Like I said before, it's going to come down to the run game for both teams. I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to have a great game. I don't think Anthony Brown is going to have a great game. It's going to be ground and pound, and the defense is going to have to step up again. Now, if they get a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter, they got to close that thing out. They got to close it out this time. It's just no way in hell you can give it up, and with 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left, or whatever. You got to close them out. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter as always. And we know with the Browns, they almost beat us the first time, so it wouldn't shock me if they beat us this time. But it's just going to come down to the running backs, honestly. So we shall see.
Yeah, the Ravens doing a great job stopping the run, but we shall see. As we said, hopefully Deshaun Watson does not wake up this game and start throwing for over 300 yards and looking like the top 5 quarterback he was before the allegations where he didn't play for over 2 years. But if the Ravens can control the line of scrimmage like they did today, their defense is doing a great job against the running game. And thankfully, they don't have any receivers that I'm really worried about personally, Amari Cooper and Njoku, but it starts and ends with their running backs too.
But and also, what does kind of scare me, but not really. But it does this time. Nick Chubb had a bad game today. He didn't do much of anything. And that was kind of the case the week when we played them earlier. He had a bad game, and then he came back and almost had a 100-yard game. But with the addition of Roquan Smith on the team, I don't think he goes as crazy as he did that first game that we played him. But we shall see also. So nothing surprises me at all with the Ravens, but I think they shut the run game down.
Hopefully, we get to see a Jabo and Kohler before the end of the year because they only have 4 games left now.
Yeah, there's only 4 games left, and they've been practicing. Ajabo's been practicing since October 15th, and the fan base is getting restless. They want to see this man. We saw George Pickens go crazy. We could have had him in the draft. But they chose your boy, Byron. They chose your boy Ajabo. They just need to play him.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got to put him in there because you need pass rush and you need to keep guys fresh. JPP is not a spring chicken. Houston's not a spring chicken. Calais Campbell's not a spring chicken. Matabike, he comes and goes. Broderick Washington is having a really good year, a really, really solid season. So Travis Jones, he played really, really well today too. He's coming along nicely. So
Mm.
defensive line, yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
defensive line is good.
make sure you guys hit the like button and vote on the poll. Let's go through the scores, Raj, for this week and talk about what happened before we get on up out of here. Ooh, we had on Thursday
Oh, there you go again.
these ads. I tell you, on Thursday we had the Rams with Baker Mayfield, 98-yard drive, beat the Vegas Raiders. Excuse me. Um, that was a crazy game. I didn't see that coming. But Baker Mayfield, 17-16 with the Rams over the Raiders. Your thoughts on that?
Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Shout out to him. I thought his career was going down the toilet. I thought this was it for him. And just before it, his lights got shut off. They came back on again. And all of a sudden, he looks like Baker Mayfield. So I'm happy for him. He had a good drive. He had a good game. And when he came in there, and he helped the Rams out. He helped his career out. And I think it only goes up from here for him. And I'm happy for him for real. So shout out to Baker Mayfield. Shout out to the Rams. I know these are the Raiders, and this is exactly what they do. But yeah, who would have thought that Baker Mayfield would have led that drive for the win?
Eagles put up nearly 50 points against the Giants. I told y'all the Giants weren't for real. 48-22. Jalen Hurts might be the MVP, Raj.
I know Cravante is very happy right now for them Commanders, but yeah, man, the Giants is looking like they're coming down to earth now. The Eagles are still flying high, still got a powered offense, man. I wish we had.
See that Eric DeCosta, Steve Bisciotti, get a number one receiver.
I wish we had those weapons, man. They made the game look so easy today too, and I watched most of that game, and I'm just like, I was watching it with Eagles fans, and I'm like, as much as we're struggling, they was clutching and stuff like this, and I'm like, what are you clutching for? You're up by 21. I mean, the game is almost over with. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Look, a divisional game at that.
Right, and they just blowing them out. I'm like, y'all doing this. Like, I'm doing this. I mean, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm doing this.
Look, we
Ridiculous.
do it every week when we're not supposed to even.
Exactly. We got to get our heart medicine, man. I mean, damn. I mean, but yeah, man, that's neither here nor there. I mean, the Eagles is a great team. They have every aspect to win, all the pieces. So, of course, they're going to get that victory.
Jaguars, this might have been a shocker, beat the Titans 36-22. Trevor Lawrence, 368, 3 touchdowns on my fantasy team. Evan Ingram, 11 for 162. Derrick Henry had over 100 yards. But the Jaguars, I think that Ravens game woke them up, Raj. I know they laid the egg last week, but Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like one of those quarterbacks heading into next year we got to keep an eye on.
It looks like we made a star. We made a star in Trevor Lawrence. He's finally coming into form. Fabio is finally getting the job done. But I watched a bit of that game too. Derrick Henry, of course, had over 100, but he had that crucial fumble.
Never see him fumble.
Yeah, never see him fumble like that. But it happens, man. The Jaguars might be the real deal coming into the future, so look out for them.
Shout out to Mr. Khan. Lions, Raj. This wasn't really an upset. The Lions were actually favored 34-23. Is this more about the Lions winning 6 games? I thought they could win 6 games this year, or the Vikings being a fraudulent 10-3. Kirk Cousins, 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 200 yards, another Ravens receiver they could have had. Thoughts on the Lions? The Lions look for real. They could be a team next year. The Vikings, they could be one and done. Who knows?
Hey man, at BK, the Lions had it their way. But yeah, they did that thing, man. I mean, I'm not shocked either. I'm not shocked. The Lions is a good team. They had a lot of bad breaks early on in the year, but their coach, man, he knows how to motivate them. And they just find ways to keep them. He keep them in the game, and now they're winning these games. So hey, if they continue to keep winning, man, they might have a shot to make the postseason. So they're not out of it just yet. So it doesn't shock me at all. Kirk Cousins did have a good game. He had over 400 yards. And Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team, he went crazy. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not going to say Minnesota's a fraudulent team, but they have their faults as well. So it just none of this shocks me. None of it.
Cowboys 27-23. Game probably shouldn't have been that close, but they get it done. Rashawn's Cowboys get the win. Dallas quietly keeping pace with the Eagles, and their record is 10-3 as well. So they could be a wild card team. That's a shame. But the Texans get the number one pick.
Man, what's going on with Dak Prescott? He keep throwing these balls that are. I'm like, what are you doing? Throwing these interceptions left and right. Run the football, bro. Run the football more. I mean, I mean, he was throwing it from the end zone, and then he throws it to the Houston Texans, and I'm like, that was almost a touchdown. But well, the defense stopped him before that. But still, it's just like the little things that the Cowboys are doing is going to get them put out the playoffs. Trust and believe. Dak is doing too much. He's doing too much. He's making this look, worse than what it is. But like I said before, I wish we had their weapons too. I take CeeDee Lamb right now. I take Michael Gallup. But yeah, man, he's doing too much. He's doing too much. Run the football more. Tony Pollard is doing his thing, and Zeke Elliott is a good backup towards him. So yeah, Houston almost stole it, but them boys, they held on.
Bengals win again, 23-10 over the Browns. Joe Mixon is back. Jamar Chase over 100 yards. The Bengals doing what they do, man. They might win this division.
Like I said before, I picked them to win this division early on in the year, and it doesn't matter who they play. They're going to continue to keep winning. They're going to continue to keep winning. They're finding their stride. They're a very scary team, and there's no stopping them right now. Especially when Joe Burrow goes off, and then Joe Mixon's going off with him, and Jamar Chase. You had a good game for my fantasy team. I see you, Jamar Chase. I see you there, baby. But yeah, man, they're very tough. They're very tough, bro. And it pains me to say this, but they might be making another run to the Super Bowl. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, Q, could you step to the front of the congregation? Bills beat the Jets 20-12. Mike White. Yeah. Thankfully, these teams that the Ravens need to lose, they lost today. And maybe New England could lose tomorrow. We can see what happens with the Chargers tonight. But the Bills, they're going to probably win that division.
Oh, man, I saw Mike White take this hit. He almost got decapitated out there. Oh, Lord. But the Jets played hard, though, man. I'll give them that. They played hard. They was in the game the whole game. But they were playing hot potato with the quarterback. 1 minute, Joe Flacco's in. The next minute, Mike White's in. Then Mike White gets knocked out. Then Joe Flacco comes back in. And then Mike White comes back again. I'm like, where's Zach Wilson in all of this? He's the only person that's missing from this equation. But, I mean, they play hard, but the Bills is the top team in the division. And they finally showed up, and they avenged that loss from early on in the year. The Jets are still holding on to the playoff, to the, I think, 7th playoff spot. But like you said before, we need, them teams to lose just in case the Ravens, take a pitfall. So it just happens, man, like that.
Next, we have we got Brady is getting annihilated out there in his hometown. 35, what is it, 35?
35.
I
think
they changed the game. They switched the game.
They did. I'm watching the red zone. So that's how bad that game is. Kansas City, Denver is I think is on the main game now. But
okay,
I think I picked the 49ers to win, if I'm not mistaken. Earlier,
I picked Tampa.
You picked Tampa. They just don't have it, man. Tampa doesn't have it. And I like Brady. You know how I feel about Brady. He's the greatest of all time, but he cannot carry this team. He cannot carry them. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are okay at times, and then a lot of times they're off, and then it's just a cluster Franklin of epic proportions out there in Tampa Bay. But yeah, this doesn't surprise me either. Prayers to Deebo Samuel. I think he got carted off earlier in the game, and he was crying, so he might be season-ending injury. But Brock Purdy's getting the job done, man. Mr. Irrelevant is staying relevant. So shout out to the 49ers. We're gonna win this game easily.
Yeah, that defense is ridiculous. Even if they do lose Debo, they still got Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, still got Ayuk. They got weapons, and Purdy.
They got more weapons than the Ravens do. Ain't that right, DeCosta?
Yes, they do. To the Tampa's point, Brady just looks a step slow. He's mentally not there. The defense that was good is terrible now. They can't stop anything. The coaching situation looks like it's bad. Todd Bowles could be fired. They'll probably
Oh,
make the playoffs with a 8-9, 7-10 record, but they're gonna probably just get one and done. And Brady can probably ride into the sunset, I guess. I don't
and
know.
how can you feel about Todd Bowles coming from a shitty Jets situation where he struggled like all the years that he was the coach to coming into something that was cozy where you had the greatest quarterback of all time who's beaten you a lot when you was the Jets head coach, by the way, and having a supposedly great offense and to just coach them into the ground and almost you probably find your way out the door sooner rather than later. It sucks, man.
Panthers beating the Seahawks 27-17, man. We saw this Panthers team, Raj. They have some talent. Their defense is very good, very young, very fast, physical, and offensively, they are scoring points today. And Seattle looks like they are kind of what we thought they might be.
Yeah,
Gene Malenko is back.
Jay Malenko is back, turning the football over again. Cravante's very happy again. And the Panthers are doing what they're supposed to do. They well, maybe not doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be tanking, but they find ways to play hard every week. And you gotta give them credit. Their defense is very good. We've seen them. The quarterback situation is up in the air. So, but they show up every week. They're not laying down to nobody, and they're playing hard and they're keeping them in every game. So yeah, shout out to the Carolina Panthers. Seahawks got to get better though. Geno cannot be turning the ball over, man. I mean, he's getting a chance to actually show what he can do now, and he's just letting it come to an end, basically.
Chiefs, Broncos 34-28, a lot closer than maybe I thought. I think Russell Wilson was knocked out of the game. Chiefs probably look like they may hold on, but tough divisional game.
Yeah. I mean, you expect your division games to be kind of tough, so it doesn't surprise me that Denver is keeping it, relegatively close. But yeah, I think the Chiefs will hold on though because they got the ball. They're driving. There's only 4 minutes left. And if Russell is out of the game, then they're not going to get the job done. But as Byron comes back, man, because I know he got knocked. That BK got him knocked out, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back really soon, man. But yeah, man, those Ravens, man. Yeah, there he is. There he is. The BK knocked you out, man.
Yeah, they knocking me out, man. I'm trying to use the ESPN and it keeps the ads, even though I have it on mute. But tonight, another game for the Ravens that could help them. Dolphins Chargers Sunday night. If the Chargers lose, they will fall to 6-7, kind of knock them back a little bit. So a big game all around tonight. How you feel about that?
Go Dolphins, go. I think the Dolphins will bounce back. They lost last week, and I think they'll be motivated to beat the Chargers. So, yeah, man, I think the Chargers are going to take an L. I think the Dolphins get that win back, especially with the Jets losing. So that's always a good thing for them.
Then Monday we have New England at Carolina at the Cardinals. I picked the Cardinals kind of because I want to knock New England down, but that's another game the Ravens got to keep down.
Yeah, that's another game that if New England gets smacked back, that's a good thing for the Ravens too. But I think I picked New England to win. So I could be wrong though. I mean, New England is up and down. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. But we shall see. We shall see on Monday. Either way, I think both teams are on or on a rebound or rebuild mode, I should say.
And the poll, are you worried about the Ravens quarterback situation, 50-50. So if you didn't get your vote in, vote kind of split. Like I said, if Lamar it has a sprained PCL, I know they're saying he's going to probably miss at least next week too. He may miss Christmas Eve, he may play Christmas Eve, but he probably won't be 100% either. So Ravens have to be very, very cautious with what they handle and do with Lamar Jackson. Raj, any final thoughts on the Ravens Steelers?
Like I said before, if Lamar's not ready, if he's struggling, if he can't move like he's supposed to move, or like we're used to him moving, do not play him. He is playing for a contract this year. We're trying to give him we're trying to make sure that he stays healthy, until the season's over with, so he can, get that nice contract. So if he's not ready to go, do not play him. Do not play him. If even in Christmas Eve, if he's not ready to go, don't play him then either. But my final thoughts on this Ravens and Steelers game is the defense got to do better, man. The defense, I know they had 3 interceptions, they had a couple sacks. When it comes down to the fourth quarter and closing these games out, it's too much money on that side of the ball for them to be giving up those type of touchdowns. Less than a minute almost is ridiculous. So if they can get better doing that aspect, they'll have a chance of competing for the championship, getting into the playoffs and competing for the championship. But if they cannot, it's gonna be a first round exit or maybe not make the playoffs at all. So they got to do better, man. I mean, this is where the money is at. This is where the eggs are in the basket. Is on the defensive end. So if the ball is in y'all court, man, y'all want to start playing lights out, we'll have a chance. If y'all don't, we'll be sitting at home like I'm doing right now. You'll be with me, sitting
Wearing
home,
the jersey, man, eating the snacks.
wearing a jersey, eating snacks, and watching the other games on television.
Pull up a seat on the couch, get comfortable. Ravens, week 15, they travel to Cleveland, a Saturday afternoon game, triple hit on Saturday. They have the middle game at 4:30. So we will be live after that game. Just hit the bell, hit the notifications, and you will see when we're live, probably about an hour or so after the final gun goes off in the fourth quarter. So maybe a little bit after 7, but we will keep you posted. Raj, we got a new episode of The Flex Zone tomorrow, episode 371. A lot to talk about. Brittany Griner, NFL, so much more.
So much more, man. Tune in. We got a guest coming on. I'm pretty sure he's going to break down the Brittany Griner situation a little in the details. We'll talk, NFL recap week 14. Preview the Cleveland game some more. Get Dre's perspective. I guess Cravante will have a goofy of the week. And we're gonna talk some probably NBA basketball as well. So tune into the Flex Zone at 10 p.m. tomorrow. We're gonna have a live show, and we're gonna continue to keep it funky.
Yes, lots of videos on the channel, lots of content. Ring of Honor preview. We got live streams. We got Ravens previews. We got this post-game show, previous post-game shows. Raj, let the people know how to keep up with us. They're new to the channel. What they can do, they can support the channel, donate, all that good stuff.
Tiffany, I know the Steelers embarrassed you, but it's okay.
Shout out to Tiffany.
Shout out to Tiffany. Appreciate you as always. But please hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Continue to keep up with us. We're doing a lot of videos, a lot of content. We do wrestling content. We do sports content. We do all kinds of content. We keeping the train moving. We be having on great guests almost every other week. So continue to keep up with us, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Like I said, we got the Monday show. We got AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays, and sometimes we do SmackDown. Sometimes we don't, but we will have a preview for the Ravens Cleveland game this week. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yes, Ravens play Saturday the next 2 weeks, so we'll be live Saturdays, and we'll be with you Christmas Eve. So start your Christmas with the Flex Zone. Ravens post-game show, Ravens content coming all week. We shall keep you posted. Flex Zone tomorrow. Big Raj, our social media producer, God's favorite host, the host of The Moist. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for the support. If you guys haven't hit the like button, vote on the poll. Getting ready to get out of here. And have a great night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Flex Zone podcast. Video is all on the channel. Check out that Deion Sanders video if you haven't also. Appreciate the love and support on that. And we out of here, Raj. Only place give me sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Peace. Ravens get to win 16-14. We'll be back next week with another post-game show after the Cleveland game.
Peace. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. My man Waters, Big Reg, Malik, Brian,
Justin, Tiffany, Miss Queen,
everybody that tuned in. Shout out to y'all. We're nothing without you guys, so we appreciate you. Anyway, like Byron said, we out. Peace.
Have a good night.